So I've been reading this book, and it's titled "Thou Shalt Prosper." It's by a rabbi, and he believes in Judaism. He follows the Judaism religion, and with that, he's kind of outlining and exploring the ideas of looking at money and business in a different light. And what he's kind of making the argument for is the success for Jews, and what he feels the success for Jews within business is in part majority due to the way that Jews practice their religion and the tenets that their religion have. And with the tenets, the main tenet, the biggest tenet, the overall tenet of the Jewish religion is view, their view and their perception of money, and also the practice of business, ethical business. And you're doing it the best way you can. And his book is very interesting because it kind of rings to the type of thought process that somebody that has a capitalistic or a hustler mentality may have. And with that, I'm saying this book helps people with those type of mentalities or that type of intent and want to pursue um, greener pastures. They want to get more into capitalism. They want to compete in a business environment. And I feel like that this book, and then also this idea of looking at money and business in a different light, in a different fashion, will help the Black community if the Black community really wants to move forward with some things. Because I feel the Black community has a lot of things, a lot of thoughts out there, and a lot of ideas that are spawned from the heart. They've been created with great intentions to help the Black community, but I feel like they're missing, the core layer. They're more like the tertiary, superficial type of layers that they're affecting, or that they're updating and changing, and then they're figuring that with that change, it should be able to affect the entire core of the Black community, and then progress can be made. And what I feel is that's short-sighted, and it's short-sighted to a sense because it does not address the core, the foundation of the community, and it does not. It just doesn't help with our mentality. And like what I was saying was the rabbi was explaining that the Jewish community, they see money and business as a morally just object, morally just and thing to have, but also when you're doing business ethically, it's a great thing to do. And what he was explaining was how the different religions, the Abrahamic religions, don't have that type of insight, that they don't have that type of perspective on money and business endeavors. What they kind of do is they see money and business as evil. And he feels like that is a huge disservice for people of different religions, but it has also been a huge service for the Jewish community and helping them move ahead and be more competitive in the work environment, the business environment, and just also in general life, just having money and then money affording you opportunities to do different things. What he was kind of talking, I'm in the earlier chapters of this book, and I'm about 25%, 20, I'm about 30% done this book via, because I have a Kindle, and the Kindle tracks the progress as you read on page to page. And I'm about 30% finished, but I'm so happy that I started reading this book. How this book was recommended to me from the Angry Man. I do watch the Angry Man's page for YouTube. Shout out to the Angry Man. I agree with most of the stuff he was saying. And I kind of don't like the fact that he's. I don't know. I don't know if you can say that, but I feel like somewhat he's blackballed in the Black manosphere, and he's not like put into a better light. But he does get angry, Hence the name. He does get angry, and he gets verbally. He can assault you pretty verbally with the guys that are in that space. So he's kind of been put on a lower light, but he's more of a capitalist. He's more of a hustler. He's more into business and creating money and, you know, different types of investment strategies. And he's into all of this stuff with wealth creation. So with him, he recommended this book, and he had an hour long or maybe hours long video that he posted, that he streamed, and he was talking about our attitudes towards money and how that's really affecting us. It's affecting us a lot. I'm not saying it's going to fix everything, but like I said earlier, it's a foundational tenet that needs to be addressed. It needs to be updated and also improved. And I feel like this would be what's necessary to improve that. What the rabbi in the book was talking about, how you got there's a growing trend. There's been a growing trend in the past decades of all TV shows, whether it's sitcoms, movies, cartoons, or whatever, from the most recent decades. It's been different business professionals like CEOs, people with a lot of money have been portrayed as villains in a lot of these superhero movies, and also regular movies in themselves. Like when the big time villain is always a rich CEO of something, some business guy that's doing bad business and all of that stuff. But what he was saying previously was that the villains were pretty much people. I don't want to quote him. I know for sure that he was saying that they weren't like business professionals, but there were people of different stature, probably other like superheroes or whatever, or they just weren't mentioned. It was a different type of villain. I forget exactly what the villain was, but he was also pointing out that um, people aren't proud of doing business. They aren't proud of the point of doing business and what it can provide and what they do provide to different communities, to the community and to society in itself. The businesses, the business professionals, the executives are quick and very proud to talk about their charitable endeavors, but slowly, and they're pretty mute on talking about some of the things that they do for their workers, or the fact that they're creating jobs for a community, or the fact that there's a certain wage rate for their employees in certain areas, and stuff like that. So those are benefits that you are providing to people by doing business. And yeah, basically that's what I kind of see with the Black community. It's more so like a Marxist, so it's more so a Marxist socialist type of collective attitude, versus the individual type capitalistic endeavor. And don't take that as me saying that the United States is all capitalism or the United States is all socialism. As we know, it's not all socialism at all. But what you got to also understand is that it's not all capitalists as well. It's a mixed economy. It's filled with capitalism and socialism. And the weird thing is that, well, it's not weird, but it's just the current state of society is, we're more prone to the ideas and the whims of socialism. So with any fault that we see, we want to say that that's due to capitalism. That's the fault of capitalism. But that's kind of my all for this video here. The Black community needs to change. We need to change our attitude towards money and business, and let's start getting to it.